Tonight on Let It Rip.
I wish I would have been here because I would have saved her myself.
Outrage after a 3-year-old girl dies after a house fire.
And it's okay for you to disable it, and my baby had to die from it because they couldn't even come in and rescue her in a timely manner.
The girl's family is placing some of the blame on the city of Detroit.
I truly believe if the correct truck would have came, when they first came, that baby would have still been here. Y'all allowing your people in the city to die, just like you're allowing your city to die.
Time to Let It Rip. With us tonight, a grieving grandmother. Tracy LaRock was in the house with little Ivory Ivy when the fire started. Sadly, Ivory did not survive. Tonight, her grandmother has a message for all of us. Next to her, a man who spent his career on the front lines of public safety. He's here to tell us what went right and what went wrong. The head of Detroit's Firefighters Union, Dan McNamara. Plus, the reporter who first exposed this ongoing problem, Charlie LaDuff, and the attorney who knows every legal angle of this issue, Charlie Langton. A little later, we'll discuss how far you can go to protect your property, but right now, we're talking about protecting lives from fire here in the city of Detroit. And first of all, Ms. LaRock, let me extend our condolences to you and your entire family in the loss of little Ivory. Tell us about this child. We've seen her picture, we know her name, but what was she like? What made her smile?
Bubbly, very happy, silly, smart, intelligent, joy.
What happened that day?
Fire broke out. I called 911. Fire trucks didn't show up. Oh, I stood there and I just wanted to hear a fire siren. I just wanted to hear a fire siren. Never heard one. And then when one came, it was a little bitty truck. The second one came, no one ever brought a hose out. It was only till the third truck arrived that a hose and a ladder was brought. And I asked the firefighter to listen to me. Put the ladder right there. Climb up there and break the window out. The baby's there in the bed. She's right there. And then he did. I thank God for him. He did. He listened to me. He did exactly what I instructed him to do. And he rescued her.
Well, Dan, the good news is that they did find Ivory, but sadly it was too late. She died a few hours later. In your heart, what do you think went wrong that day?
Well, the first thing I want to say is, and as I told you in the back, on behalf of all the men and women of the Detroit Fire Department, we're sorry.
Thank you.
Our prayers come out to you, but you need to know that we did everything right. It just happened. Everybody threw everything they got at it, and we are so sorry for your loss. We grieve with you. But the problem is something that people are probably getting tired of listening to me about. We've been saying for a decade now, the city needs to prioritize public safety. This is not unusual. This issue about a tac truck, we are sometimes, to make sure that we have firefighters available, we use pickup trucks, we use vans to replace these things. When our fire engines go down and they need to be repaired, it's not like when you go to your dealership and they give you a loaner car. We don't have loaner cars anymore at our repair shop.
And we're looking at the TAC truck right now.
Right, we do everything we can. Now that TAC truck, we've had a TAC in this city for decades. That TAC truck, TAC, we use it, we say it stands for trash and cars. That's for parking structures. That's for a lot of other things. It is not for a dwelling fire. But the firefighters do not want to be closed. They want to be able to do whatever they can. We had that rig that day. We responded with that rig and we did the best we can. That rig carries water. And sometimes we make rescues without water, and sometimes we make them without. It depends. We throw everything we got.
Water when you show up to a fire, don't you?
That's right.
And the bottom line, you got to knock down some of that fire to even get into that house.
Well, you know, and what the firefighters did at this rescue is some of them went inside the staircase, and some, when they finally got a ladder, they crawled up and they went through the front window, and they got her out.
It wasn't some, sir. It was one. It was one firefighter.
Right. And they wanted me, all the way I was coming here tonight, they were calling me to make sure to talk to you and tell you.
I'm not blaming the firefighters.
All right. No, we know that.
I am mad at the city of Detroit that don't have the equipment to rescue our people. We pay tax dollars. Why was we getting faulty? Why was a faulty equipment? That's all I want to know. Why was it a faulty truck sent to my fire from my grandbaby? Because I made it clear when I spoke to the 911 caller. I said, my grandbaby is trapped upstairs and is burning. I said, my granddaughter, over and over again. Why was a faulty truck sent to my fire? Why it took 3 trucks to arrive before my baby could be rescued? Why? It was seconds, minutes. She could have probably still lived because she would have had a little bit more fresh air other than the smoke that was already inhaled into her little body. Why was a broke truck, a tax truck, sent to my fire? I stay in between 2 fire stations. I'll sit right in the middle of them. 1 4 blocks up, 1 block down. One is 8 blocks that way and 2 blocks over to my house. Why was I sent a faulty truck? Don't nobody know the pain I feel. Nobody. When I stand in the streets, I'm waiting for just to hear a fire alarm. Just a truck. I want to hear a truck. That's all I wanted to hear was a fire truck. Nobody knows how I feel. Knowing that my baby up there, I don't know if she's burning. I don't know what's coming of her.
Ms. LaRock, we feel your pain. We do. Because we can think of our children possibly being trapped in that burning house as well. Now, here's a brief breakdown of the kind of equipment that typically is dispatched to a house fire like the one involving Little Ivory. The response to a typical house fire is called a box alarm. It usually consists of 3 engines which can hook up to fire hydrants, 1 ladder truck which has several hundred gallons of water, 1 squad, a group of firefighters trained for search and rescue, and a battalion chief. Now, all of them are typically dispatched at the same time. But in this fire, here's the breakdown of the equipment that actually arrived at the house. 2 engines, 1 ladder truck, 1 squad, and the battalion chief. And what we've been discussing, a tack truck. That's a smaller truck, often used to fight trash and car fires, not house fires in most cases. Now, here's where the issues begin. That tack unit was the first truck on the scene, but those firefighters couldn't fight the fire because the water pump on the tack unit, we are told, was either disabled or because the firefighters were told not to use it. Now, we're told initially that they were told not to use it because there was no one certified to use the equipment on the truck. The second vehicle on the scene was the ladder truck, but that truck was not equipped to tap into a hydrant. It only holds a few hundred gallons of water. Then the rest of the equipment finally arrived, 2 engine trucks, the squad, and the chief. Fire Commissioner Don Austin had this to say during a press conference this week.
I believe, to the bottom of my heart, everything worked as it should. Instead of shutting that company down because their apparatus was getting warranty work, our decision was to let's keep the manpower available.
Mr. Rock, have you heard from Don Austin yet?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard from the mayor of the city of Detroit?
No, I haven't.
What would you say to the fire commissioner?
Fire Commissioner, I don't know how you can feel in the bottom of your heart that everything was done when it was faulty equipment sent to my fire. I don't know how you have a feeling about anything other than sympathy for a young child that lost his life. I don't know how you feel. And I wish you were here on this panel so I can look you dead in your eye to show you how I feel.
Charlie, you have been covering this story for months now.
Yeah, I'm sick to death of it, to be honest with you. I can't take this anymore. And when I run into the, whatever Fred Wheeler's title is now, the deputy commissioner, and he says, you tailed me and you made my children cry. I said, well, sir, look around. The children in this city are dying from mismanagement, okay? Look, that tack truck, that little graphic you showed, was the first one to come. So to say that we did everything and it wasn't the equipment failure that caused this child to lose her life, maybe, maybe not. But this thing was working, this truck, because here's the command not to use it. It was tested the next morning, and a couple of high-ranking guys told me It was working. They were just told not to use it because they didn't want to damage it. Ask yourself, when an engine goes down and gets replaced by something like this, where's the real backup engine? Where's all of our equipment? We've been reporting for months and months and months the broken down fire trucks, the broken down ambulances sitting in that apparatus unit, and for City Hall to come and say, I misrepresented it or something, or this paint isn't real, or we did everything we could. This is baloney. What town would take this?
I'd just like to say this. This is an anomaly. There are times we have rescue squads that don't have water. There are times we may come up on this. In fact, it happened to me once in my career. But this should be a minimal hours, maybe a day fix to keep us in the field. But we should, like we've said, like I've continued to say, I've tried to reach out, I've put my hand out as the Detroit Firefighters president, our members, come join with us and let's go. We understand the city has tremendous financial battles. But my question the other day to the fire department was, if somebody's standing over there across the street, has got a bag of money and says, we want to give this to you, why will you not walk across the street with us?
Let's go out and get these grants.
That's right. We've offered to pay for their airfare to Washington to meet with these people. With the president of the International Association of Firefighters wants to help Detroit more than any other city in the country. So my question continues to be, what is the problem? Why are you not doing it? Because we can't do it. We're not allowed to participate in this process. But you know, it's the firefighters that got the grants in Washington passed so that we can bring the money home and we can find money for grants for rigs and for staffing. And when we're 300 to 400 firefighters down and we're 43 years old on average and we're getting more whittled every day, this is not what you do.
Well, Charlie, the city's already broke, but you have to wonder if the family has grounds to sue.
Well, they may. They may. The law allows the fire and police department a lot of leeway because they're doing a governmental function. They have immunity. It's very difficult to sue the king. That's the principle. However, when there's intentional acts or where there's so gross mismanagement or gross negligence, as I am hearing in this case, that you have the main truck is not even at the fire station when the call comes in, and you send out this little rinky-dink truck to a house fire, a specific fire that has a protocol that's not followed, I think the city's going to have to prioritize, and they better get their act together before someone else is killed. This is not, unfortunately, the first death that we've heard about in the city of Detroit. I don't know where the lawsuits are coming. They will be coming. They will be coming, and they should. But we don't want that. Let's prioritize. Let's get the act together now.
And I want the viewers to understand, too, that we are not here to point fingers. We're not here to blame the mayor or the fire commissioner for the death of this child. But we are here to try to find solutions, to maybe find a way to work together, to go out and get those grants, to fix this ongoing problem once and for all so that it doesn't happen again to another child.
And this is more than litigation. This is a human issue. This is our community. This is all of us together. And when we get in a position like this, it's incredible outrage. Okay, I'm so sorry, but this is like Groundhog's Day. We just keep doing this and doing this and doing this.
Who feels safe?
Man, we just came out of 9/11, the Memorial Weekend, right? Man, in New York, they're prepped. A lot of money came down. Where's ours? If we can't manage to get an engine within 5 minutes to a baby, when the big one comes, God forbid it does,
Exactly.
What are we in for?
Who would live in a neighborhood when we don't have we don't have adequate fire protection?
You may have heard
Who would move to the
police
city?
The
protection.
Detroit
ambulance
firefighters put an
coverage.
ad out just a few months ago. We spent, out of our own dues, ads to talk about the budget. And what our message was is to help make Detroit great again, repopulate the city, make it a place for business. Stories like this are not going to cause business to come in.
Public safety the top priority.
That's correct.
We thank you so much, and above all, we thank you. And again, our sympathies, our condolences are with your family and with your granddaughter. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the city council.
Much more to come on Let It Rip. A copper thief shot and killed by an armed security guard. Tonight, with crime on the rise in Detroit, are businesses and homeowners becoming vigilantes to protect their property and their lives. Stay with us.